And what's going on, everyone? This is your host Noel, back with another video today. And today we're going to be talking about investment properties. Now, before we get into this video, I'm not going to be breaking down how to find your net operating expense, your return of investment, budget, reserve. I'm not going to be talking about the financial aspects. I'm going to be talking about the reality of buying an investment property. And the reason why I want to do that is because it's become a hot topic now in today's day and age. So let's rewind it back a little bit. Let's go back to 2008. In 2008, as we all know, a lot of lenders and banks, I should say, was giving out money to pretty much anybody to buy a home. Hey, you work 2 years or 1 year, here you go. Long story short, you move into a place, couple of months, 2 to 3 years, you stop paying, and then you go back to where you originally started. And you were not pretty much hold accountable for it. And that's pretty much was one of the downsides back in the days, which caused like the market to crash back in 2008. Banks were just giving money away, lenders, and everybody was just buying property. Fast forward a little bit, a lot of short sales, foreclosures was going on, and big investors that had money waiting in the bank, they purchased a lot of property. Even people who wasn't big investors, people who followed the trend, at least I should say, end up buying property, and they become rich. They bought single family homes, duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, you name it. They invested a lot of money into property, bought it for a very low price, and sold it years later, kept some for passive income. And that's kind of coming back a little bit now. Now, I'm not saying investing has stopped, but that is a very big topic I see on social media a lot, and even questions I get text randomly from numbers I don't know, a phone call. Hey, I'm looking for a property under 100 grand to rent right away. So here's some stuff I want to discuss with you guys when buying property in South Florida, at least I should say. So like I said, I work in Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, a little bit further up all the way to Port St. Lucie, I'm gonna say. That way to give you guys a general tip of my area, at least you can understand. For you, if you ever come across this video, if you live in the state of South Florida, you know the areas of where I'm talking about. So let's talk about condos, townhouses real quick. Condos, townhouses here in South Florida are everywhere pretty much where you look at it. They have associations. Now, most associations have restrictions when it comes to rental. Some will allow it, some don't. The ones that do allow it, it takes about a year to 2 years. 9 out of 10 times you'll have to live in the property for a year before you can rent it out. And there are some stipulations to it now. So keep in mind when you're looking for a property in a condo or townhouse on Zillow or realtor.com, or if you're out of state and you see like a property in the 55 plus community, those rules apply for those type of areas as well. You have to live in the property for a year or two. Even if you're paying all cash and you own it, you still have to own it for a year or live in it at least a year before you can rent it out. Now let's touch on single family homes now. Single family homes is a bit different. Now there are some with HOAs involved, and there are some restrictions. Some may allow you to do it at a certain fee, for example, or some of them allow it after 2 or 3 years of owning. So it's the same thing. Most people though who want single family homes that I am in communication with always ask me, I'm looking for a single family home under 200,000, 150 the lowest, to put 30, 40 grand in, and then either flip it or rent it out. And to be honest, that's not the case. You're not going to find those type of properties anymore. And even if you go like onto the HUD website for foreclosures, those properties actually sell for current market value price. So what do I mean by that? So let's say, for example, this property I'm in right now. This property I'm in right now that I'm doing this open house today, I just started, is going for $375. The nearest one next door to us, my broker just sold that one, going for $375. It's a 4.3. This is a 3, 2.5. So he's listed here. The property here though needs a lot of work. But let's scratch that. Let's say this goes into foreclosure. Just because that property sold for $375 The bank is not going to drop this down to, let's say, $250. They're going to sell it for market value. Because remember, the bank is not really in the business for real estate. A lot of people say, yeah, they lend you money for real estate. Correct. They'll lend you money for real estate because they make interest off it. They're in the business for money. They give you money to get a loan to buy property. But their real reason for it is because they accumulate interest off it. And at the end of the day, if they don't get their money back, they seize your property, which they don't want to do. That's why they try to sell it as most as they can. And a lot of people got that misconception that just because it's in foreclosure and it's a distressed rate property that you could just offer the lowest you can. It's more to it. Like, you gotta think about it. You competing with other people. Just because a home is for $200,000 doesn't mean you're gonna get it for $200,000. Think of it as if you're going to a car auction. A Lamborghini, for example, a Diablo, it's a rare car. Just because it's a rare car and it was built, let's say, in 1980s, for example, doesn't mean you're going to get it for $1,000. Those cars still sell for $100K all the way up to possibly $1 million, depending the type of version you get and the year you got it. Like, those cars vary in price, and it goes to the same thing with homes. They don't just sell for the lowest. They go in today's market as current market value. So these are some things you should really consider if you want to get into investment world. Remember, you really need cash. A lot of places will take the loan, but if you don't have the cash or the resources to do it for you, that's affordable and legal, because we all know there's a lot of illegal work that goes into some properties, because the appraiser is going to come and do his check and inspect it, and if they see some stuff, depending on who you work with or who you get, I should say, it may not go the way you thought it was going to go. So I don't want to rant this video too long. Like I said, just be mindful. If you're looking for condos, townhouses, guys, they usually take about a year or two before you can rent them out or even sell as well. So make sure you read your rules and regulations. I highly recommend doing that, because there are a lot of hidden stuff that a lot of people just don't see. And it's not hidden, but it's hidden for you because you don't read it. When it comes to single family homes, obviously here in South Florida, to find anything below 200K, it's really not even worth the investment, honestly, unless you find like a gold mine and somebody that's really in the stress rate. I actually have a property like that coming up very soon that I know is a gold mine for an investor who can invest about, I'm gonna say it needs 100K, but they can also net about 70K after it is resold again. So those type of properties you'll come across, which is, I'm not going to say rare, but you got to find a realtor that does a lot of investment work, or somebody who knows people in that type of financial situation that can help you out. But as always, guys, if you need any help here in South Florida, reach out to me anytime. On my social media is in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day.